Since 2018, Xbox has been building up a leading world-class suite of studios for their platform. Right now, confidential information has been revealed showing a massive initiative to buy up and acquire world-class publishers and major studios to the Xbox brand. And exclusive content is about to become a major identity for Xbox. FTC hearings have run to the end of June 2023, and through the investigations and questioning, documents and answers from leads at Xbox, Sarah Bond and Phil Spencer have revealed major acquisition plans, exclusive game deals, and a very bold strategy of acquiring some of the world's biggest publishers. There is a list of some 100 plus developers and publishers that Xbox has on a consideration list, but the real powerful reveal is a list of potential fits for Xbox game studios. An email surfaced from the findings with FTC from Matt Booty, the head of Xbox Game Studios, stating, quote, "We are in a very unique position to be able to go spin Sony out of business," close quote. This shows that bringing in Matt Booty was a strong maneuver for Xbox, as he has shown the desire for competition and strength for a new Xbox investment of major studios. In fact, Xbox and Microsoft had a confidential listing of potential studios and publishers to buy, categorizing them by number of employees, high watermark game titles they've shipped, and key important roles that the studio would bring to the Xbox Game Studios family. Before we get into the possible studios and acquisitions that Xbox has on their confidential listing, there is some information that broke under question in front of a federal judge, revealing that Elder Scrolls 6, one of the biggest RPGs in the world, coming from Bethesda Softworks, is not ready as soon as most fans would hope. In an effort to stay ambiguous and not have Xbox commit to exclusivity arrangements in front of the FTC, who is scrutinizing the Activision Blizzard deal, Phil Spencer said that Elder Scrolls 6 was 5+ years away, and they had not yet decided which platforms the game would release on. This keeps Xbox from committing in what is essentially an unrelated case, exclusivity on Xbox, or releasing the game on PlayStation to appear malleable and cooperative to the Federal Trade Commission. Todd Howard of Bethesda said that much of the opening segment of Elder Scrolls 6 has been developed with character creation and the first mission, but the game, which was announced in 2018, is likely not ready to be unveiled to the public until the late 2020s, putting it for a possible release date for Elder Scrolls 6 in 2028, at the end of the console generation. Another surprise truth that came from this reveal is Bethesda Softworks' Indiana Jones game being developed by the Swedish studio Machine Games. This was originally intended to be a multi-platform game, but once Xbox had acquired Bethesda in 2021, the Xbox leadership team asked Bethesda to renegotiate the terms with Disney and LucasArts to make the game exclusive to the Xbox platform. Indiana Jones has been in development since late 2018 or early 2019, and Todd Howard said that the game will neither be first-person or wholly third-person. He said,
"If you like Indiana Jones, it is a definite love letter to Indiana Jones and everything with it. I could go back. I would just say it is a mashup. It is a unique, it isn't one thing intentionally. So it does a lot of different things that, you know, myself and Yurik and the folks at Machine Games have wanted to do in a game. So it's a unique thing.
The war between PlayStation and Xbox related to major exclusives coming out in the near future broke out as PlayStation attempted to buy exclusivity for Starfield for Bethesda alongside Ghostwire Tokyo and Deathloop. Now PlayStation was trying to acquire Starfield. Xbox was in the talks to acquire Bungie, the studio that PlayStation bought in 2022, in order to get access to Marathon, an upcoming PvP extraction shooter that will release multi-platform under PlayStation Studios. In turn, Xbox won Bethesda and was able to keep Starfield exclusive to the Xbox platform instead of being timed exclusive on the PS5. This is a major victory for Xbox, who said that Bungie had a high burn rate, meaning that the amount of cash they would run through with massive overhead due to the expense of Bungie Studios and its employees. Xbox made the right choice by bringing on Bethesda Softworks, who is all ready to publish major games on the platform. Not only was Xbox looking at Bungie, but for many years they were rumored to be looking at acquiring Sega, which is a major foothold in the Japanese market and brings a massive suite of popular franchises such as Yakuza, Persona, Sonic, and Crazy Taxi. Partnerships for Sega have been lucrative as many other games have come to Game Pass, and Xbox has been looking for a major publishing arm in Japan for a long time. Here, Bungie Studios is out of the question, but Xbox should still be looking at Sega as a possible future acquisition. IO Interactive, the studio behind the Hitman series, has long been rumored to be working on a 4-player cooperative dungeon third-person action-adventure game titled Project Dragon. Little is known about this game except that it'll be a third-person over-the-shoulder cooperative game, more in the vein of action-adventure RPGs and not a top-down strategy game. Knowing IO Interactive, there is a prowess for great, amazing graphics and attention to detail, and Project Dragon could be a really big reveal we could see early next year. But more studios and publishers were brought into light from this confidential information that became public under the FTC federal investigation. Xbox revealed the intent to purchase potential studios with majorly successful franchises. Some smaller studios that seem to be in the sights of Xbox leadership, such as Ember Lab, the team that made Kena Bridge of Spirits that was exclusive to the PlayStation. Facepunch Studios, the studio behind Rust, a game that just released on Xbox last year. Fat Shark, the studio behind Vermintide 1 and Vermintide 2, and the upcoming Warhammer Darktide that still has not released on Xbox consoles. Hazelight Studios, the team behind It Takes Two, the Game of the Year winner of 2021. Surprisingly, Xbox is interested in picking up Hello Games, the team that made No Man's Sky, a team of just 26 people but have incredible talent for those that understand the magic behind No Man's Sky. One studio that shouldn't surprise fans is Xbox's intent to buy Moon Studios, the team behind the Ori series, which Xbox helped partner with for the last decade, but recently has had some troubles as a relationship with Moon Studios, and they want to expand beyond the Ori series. But Xbox now, with their new direction, wants studios like Moon to create what they want and would likely be a better partnership under the new Xbox Studios family. Xbox also says they would like to pick up Techland and Munfish, two Eastern European game studios that created Dying Light 2 and Atomic Heart, respectively. These would be major gets for Xbox and a place in the world where they want to have a foothold with their first-party studios. But probably the most shocking list from the reveal from this confidential document is a listing of major studio publishing arms that Xbox would like to acquire. This listing upsets most fans across platforms, as this would show a major shakeup in the games industry and bolster Xbox as a leading juggernaut and possibly put their competition completely out of business. Keeping in line with Xbox trying to make a foothold in Japan, one of the very popular and strong creators in the Japanese games market is Bandai Namco, with a long history of action-adventure games and some that have been partnered into Game Pass. Another targeted acquisition is the massive juggernaut in Japan, Konami Games, a wholly next-generation remake. Konami Games have a long history of decades creating some of the best action-adventure games, and they have several franchises under their belt that they are waiting to revitalize, like Castlevania. Xbox fans would have to ask if Konami, acquired under Xbox umbrella, would continue to make multi-platform games or create established franchises under their exclusivity banner. Konami has been long rumored to be in the talks for an Xbox acquisition, and until now, we hadn't seen any intent from Xbox to work with Konami until this confidential listing. EA was revealed as a target acquisition, and this one sounds the least plausible. At this point, Xbox might as well announce their intent to acquire Take-Two or Rockstar Games. But EA has been partnering with Xbox for decades, even allowing their EA Play Game Pass-like service to be tagged into Game Pass for the past several years. EA brings with it top sports titles and a slew of great game franchises from Star Wars to Titanfall, and it isn't likely that Xbox would seriously consider EA as an acquisition based mostly on this expensive price tag and the disruption to business, bringing even more scrutiny than the Activision Blizzard buyout. Xbox has been long in need of those superhero representation, and few studios have licensing agreements with Marvel or DC, but one major studio buyout has fans begging for years is Warner Bros. Interactive, which is very tricky and a complicated studio buyout tied to AT&T and miles of red tape for franchising agreements. Regardless of all of that difficulty, Xbox could acquire Warner Bros. Just for the sole privilege of having their new comic book hero-related franchises like Batman, Wonder Woman, and the upcoming Suicide Squad enter into Game Pass day and date. This is an acquisition that Xbox has been seriously looking at for a long time, and rumors have been following that right along. The access to make this kind of agreement with Warner Brothers is more complicated than most people understand, and with Phil Spencer saying he'd rather build great franchises than buy them outright, doesn't line up with a Warner Brothers acquisition, but even still, Xbox still has Warner Brothers Interactive in their sights. The last two acquisition listings here were probably the biggest bombshells that hit fans of PlayStation, Xbox, and even Nintendo. And that's exactly who Xbox is after. They said they would like the opportunity to outright buy Sony or Nintendo to position themselves in the games market as #1 leader by buying out their competition. This seems like a one-off that would not make it through the first cursory level of regulatory scrutiny, but it shows the level of seriousness Xbox has paired with Microsoft to be all in with gaming. The potential list of acquisitions is mostly a pipe dream and a curated list of studios and publishers for Xbox that they would actually want to invest in if they had that opportunity. Some of this listing is quite dated, as few studios here and there have already been acquired or assigned to other platforms. The difference is in investment for the Xbox platform from pre-2018 to now is staggering, as they are planning to close with over 30 studios once the Activision Blizzard deal turns in their favor. The remainder of this week will see the FTC question Microsoft's Satya Nadella and leadership from Activision Blizzard to determine the final statements and Xbox's ability to acquire Activision, Blizzard, and King. Until then, Xbox already has a bright future ahead with 3 major game releases at the end of this year, 4 big game releases next year, while fans wait on even bigger games to come after that. Regardless of the outcome, there are tons of games coming to Xbox, and their reinvestment in their game studios and fans proves that gaming is bigger than just one console, bigger than just one device or one type of place to play your game. These concerns about consolidation shouldn't be worried, as Xbox fans should likely keep many bigger established franchises multi-platform, and those that are exclusive would be available on any device under the Xbox platform, PC, console, handheld, and cloud-supported devices. This is Colt Eastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I know a lot of people are concerned about consolidation with the industry, especially with Xbox being able to buy up essentially whatever they want. And this dream list really gives you an idea of where Xbox could go and how many things they could buy up and bring to the studios and bring to their platform. But there's a lot more to it. Most of the games that Xbox buys at this point on would probably remain multi-platform, as they're really trying to bolster up an offering on Game Pass, which could become one of the most popular and lucrative platforms, even next to console. PC gaming, mobile gaming, handhelds are something that will become more of the future as consoles eventually fizzle out, but Xbox knows if they have access to tons of great games that people can pay for on the platform, they could quite possibly be in a lead up over what PlayStation's been doing for the past 25 years. If you end up liking this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of weekly content. If you want to further support what we're doing here on the Colt Eastwood channel, you can do that by hitting the join button below or joining the Patreon. Are there those that get you access to videos early and get you entered into monthly giveaways? And on Patreon, we have multiple tiers to give you what you would want from the channel and get you access. And also, you can sign up for the super class where I teach about Photoshop, Adobe Premiere, video production, lighting, audio, you name it, or just making great thumbnails. And you also get sponsored here on the channel. And shout out to Pushing Polygons, for who is the channel sponsor for today's video. Check out his channel. The link is in the description. Also, if you want to hear more discussion about what's going on, we have in-depth discussion for about 2 hours on the Ecstasy podcast. And there we run that show Mondays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And my co-host and I will break down all of the stuff going on with the FTC, the leaks, which we just talked about on last show, about all of the studios they're grabbing, and so much more. Let me know what you think about all this and which studio you think Xbox is going after when they close the ABK deal or when the Federal Trade Commission pushes it completely away. While you're there in the comment section, remember, as always, please be nice.